Hey guys, today I want to talk about how to create your own ETF. And I put that in quotation marks because it's not an actual ETF, but it's very much like an ETF. Now, assuming you know what an ETF is, if you don't, I can go ahead and make a video on that. But assuming you know what an ETF is, the way that you can kind of create your own ETF is by using fractional shares. Now, if you have Robinhood and you just got access to fractional shares, you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, you can purchase fractional shares on M1 Finance, Fidelity, Betterment, Stockpile. There's quite a few out there, including the Cash app made by Square. You can purchase fractional shares there too. Now, back to the ETF thing. One way that you can create your own ETF is by choosing a handful of companies that you want to invest in, utilizing fractional shares. So a quick example would be, let's say that I want to invest in Amazon, Microsoft, Google, and MGM Hotels. I want to invest in those four stocks every month, $200. So in those four companies, $50 a month. I don't have to have the full amount of money to buy the share, the fractional share. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to invest $50 every month in each one of those stocks, no matter what. Now, this also utilizes something called dollar-based averaging, which I can make a video on that too. But overall, dollar-based averaging, dollar cost averaging, will say that over the course of a year, over the course of the time you own a stock, you're buying at the highs, you're buying at the lows, and then of course you get the average. Now, when you're buying fractional shares, like I said, you can pick your own companies, or a very cool thing to do is to go to Finbox. And then Finbox, what you can do is you can see what other investors invest in, and then literally pick if you want to choose all of their stocks, like their whole list of stocks, or just parts of what they invest in. So a perfect example, if you like what Warren Buffett holds, create your own Warren Buffett ETF. Look at all the companies and then choose which ones to invest in. Or if you like all the companies he invests in, copy him stock for stock. Carl Icahn, you can do the same thing. Bill Ackman, any famous stock, guy that you want to follow that's famous and is on Finbox, you can. Or what I like to do is I'll take a mixture. I'll take a little bit of Warren Buffett, take a little bit of Bill Ackman, maybe a little Carl Icahn, whatever it is, you make your own. Or don't even listen to anyone and just make your own ETF. Now, obviously, it's not a real ETF, but what you're able to do is you're able to make your own mix of stocks without fully owning whole shares of the stocks. So if you have something like drip investing with Robinhood, and which you will have if you have fractional shares in Robinhood, they will take your dividend and it'll reinvest it back into buying shares of that stock. So an example would be, let's say that you own a share of Apple. They give you a dividend of 98 cents or whatever it is. They'll go ahead and reinvest that into purchasing 98 cents worth of additional Apple stock. So when you look at your Robinhood account, it'll say that you own 20.04 shares or whatever the cost may be at that time. But anyways, yeah, so creating your own ETF by utilizing fractional shares is a great way to diversify your investments without having to fully buy shares of a stock. Because let's face it, Tesla shares approaching $1,000, not cheap. But if you want exposure to Tesla, you can tell yourself every month, regardless of price, I will invest $100 to $200 a month, no matter what the cost. I will be getting shares of Tesla, or a percentage of shares of Tesla. And eventually, before you know it, you will own a whole share of Tesla, and then it'll just keep on snowballing. And then, of course, you can do the same thing with a bunch of shares. So that's why I really like fractional shares and utilizing it to diversify your portfolio, therefore creating a sort of ETF. Guys, if you want to get any other ideas out there, please comment below. And until next time, let's talk stocks.